Okay, so we're in Florida. Had a great trip getting here from Nassau in the Bahamas. I hope I'm pronouncing that better than I did last time. Marit and I sailed here from Nassau overnight. It was a very easy trip. We had a good bit of sailing and then the wind died and we motored across the Gulf Stream, which is crazy. The Gulf Stream, of course, is a very strong current that comes north past off the coast of Florida and continues to head north and east right across the Atlantic. And I've crossed it before, but right here off the coast of Florida, the current is so strong. It's really interesting. In fact, I'm going to play a clip from that right now so you can see it for yourselves. So we're currently crossing the Gulf Stream on our way to Fort Lauderdale, and there's a really strong northbound current here. And so to make a straight course across it, we're actually heading almost southwest. And so this ship that's behind me, that it sort of looks like we might be on a collision course with, actually it's already crossed our course over ground. So it's a good illustration of how different our course over ground is from our heading. We're headed where the boat is pointed, of course, but our course over ground is actually about here. So very big difference, very strong current. Of course, when there's strong winds going the opposite way to the current, it can create a very heavy, uncomfortable and even dangerous sea state. So the Gulf Stream is not something to be messed with. Luckily it's very calm, flat calm today, but we will be crossing it and actually using it as a little boost again later on when we leave Fort Lauderdale. So we're just approaching Fort Lauderdale, coming back into the States for the first time in a while, and we're going to do some work here in Florida before heading out on a big passage again. So after crossing the Gulf Stream, we motored into Fort Lauderdale, and we chose to come to this area because Fort Lauderdale is one of the sort of marine hubs of the United States. There's a lot of boats here, a lot of expertise, a lot of skilled tradespeople in the marine industry, a lot of chandleries, supply stores of all kinds. And as you may remember from a previous video recently, our hybrid system had a problem. I needed to get some parts in and various other parts as well for other things, and shipping stuff into the Bahamas is quite difficult. So we decided eventually to come here to get the parts and do the work. Part of the issue was that without the hybrid system, we weren't able to charge the 48-volt batteries unless we were plugged into shore power. So we needed to be in a marina where we could plug in while we wait for the parts. All the marinas in this part of the world are very expensive. One of the other reasons we came here was that somebody very, very kindly offered me this slip, this berth for tally-ho in this small private marina. And so we've been here for a few days now. We've got power, we've got water, and we've been getting our parts. So it's been really, really great. I'm so grateful. So to get here from the main Fort Lauderdale harbour, we had to come south through the sort of inland waterway that comes down just parallel to the coast, just a few miles, but we had to go through a couple of bridges that opened for us, so that was kind of fun, and then through some very shallow water just there, and then around this corner and into this marina, into quite a tight spot here, so it was an interesting parking job. Turn up. Yeah, I think we're going to turn around and try and back in. Okay, just take up the surf on that one. Here's the stone line. Since we've been here, it's been scorching hot. It's a little bit overcast today and a little bit cooler, but it's been boiling hot and fierce sunshine every day, and it's actually been really pretty hard to do anything outside or even be outside, but have got some really good work done, and I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things on the boat. You have to excuse the mess because I'm in the progress of various jobs. So first off, you can see these solar panels. Now these are connected to the boat. They're not charging right now, probably because there's no sun. They're flexible panels, you can walk on them. Now these are not going to be permanently mounted on the boat. They're going to live probably under my bunk, but they do charge the 48-volt system. We installed a solar charge controller and breakers and everything, and so we can get these out if it's sunny at the anchorage or whatever. That'll just help reduce the amount we need to run the generator a little bit. Or if we have some kind of failure with a hybrid, the generator, we can use these to get a little bit more charge into the batteries, into the 48-volt system, and then subsequently from there into the 12-volt system if we need it, which is where our real essential navigational stuff is powered from. So very happy to have those as a sort of backup and supplemental power source. One of the other jobs I did first off here, as soon as we got the part, was to fix the hybrid, and I'm happy to say that that is all functioning normally now. I just had to replace the display and wire in a new NEMA 2000 12-volt supply for it. It was all pretty easy, and get it programmed and so on, and been testing it. It's all working good. So I'm happy about that, and I think I've fixed the source of the problem that caused it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, that won't be happening again. Now I want to talk about some of the other jobs I've been doing here, but first I'm going to talk a little bit about plans for the near future, because some of these jobs are sort of directly related to the big passage that I've got coming up on the boat. And I know my plans tend to change a little bit. That's why I don't talk about plans too much if I can help it. Last time I talked about plans, I was in the San Blas Islands, and I was talking about wanting to keep cruising for another year and sort of slow down and enjoy the journey. And I still agree with that sentiment, but I think in retrospect, probably all I really needed was a bit of a holiday. And I had a bit of a holiday in the San Blas Islands. So I was able to relax a little bit there and slow down for a couple of weeks, which was really good, and I really needed it. And since then, I've been really enjoying covering some miles on the boat and sailing and getting things done. And the last couple of passages have given me a lot of confidence in tally-ho and in myself. So I'm ready to keep traveling, and in fact, right now I feel it's possible, the thing I feel like I need to do the most is actually head back to the UK. So that's the plan. Leave here relatively soon and head towards the UK. And of course, we might have to stop somewhere along the way, in Bermuda or Nova Scotia, Maine or the Azores. But ideally, I'm hoping we might be able to go non-stop all the way to the UK. And the reason for that sort of rush is just because the later in the year it gets, the harder that passage can be. It's getting a little bit late already. So in August, you start to get higher risk of hurricanes that can come up into the North Atlantic sometimes, and also just low deep depressions that come across the Atlantic. You get more sort of late summer storms in the area where we'll be going through. So be trying to get to the UK before those start to become too frequent. Now I think we're going to have a really good crew from the trip, and it's going to be made up of some experienced and some less experienced people. And so I've been doing various jobs to make the trip more comfortable, safer, more pleasant, hopefully. So one of those jobs has been to put a wind indicator at the very top of the topmast. As you can see, my climbing harness is all still set up. I've been up there a few times, so that will just make it easier to get a visual wind direction. Another job that I'm really pleased with is, there's been a lot of just getting backups and spares. So you can see here some of the packaging that's still out. That this is a new spare autopilot, a spare Starlink. That's just a mini, and I'm really pleased because I've actually managed to install a small remote control here for the autopilot. Previously you had to go right to the back of the boat and sort of almost lean over the transom to adjust the course, which is fine, but it's much nicer and easier and a little bit safer to do it here, especially on a long passage. So really pleased with that. Other than that, well, there's been various other jobs. I had a pretty nasty job fixing an issue with the head plumbing, which I'm not going to talk about too much. Suffice to say, it was quite smelly, but it's sorted now. There's been a lot of rearranging things and a lot of buying spare parts just to be completely prepared as we can be for the passage coming up. Some of the other many jobs I've been working on include figuring out a better way to reef the sail. At the moment we just lash the tack of the reefing point, and it's a little bit cumbersome doing it, so I'm trying to figure out a way to use a hook to hold the tack in when we reef, just to make it easier, because I think we're going to be reefing and unreefing a lot. One thing about this passage is that it's long enough that we can't rely on the engine, so it's going to mean a lot more sail changes, a lot more reefing, a lot more really pushing the boat to get the best out of it all the time. Whereas when I'm on my own or just short-handed with Marit, if the wind gets too light or it's just changing too often, we do sometimes just fall back on starting the engine, because this is such a heavy rig. Changing sails all the time with just two people or just one person gets really tiring. And for a shorter passage, anything under 1,000 miles, you can rely on the engine quite a bit just to be able to get more rest if you need to. But on a 3,000 mile passage or more, that's not really a possibility. We don't have the range, we need to keep the diesel for generating and so on. So we're going to be pushing the boat much harder, trying to make better speed, trying to do more sail changes, reef, unreef, to match the conditions and sail the boat faster. So that's one reason why I'm doing this passage with crew, and it's one of the reasons I'm trying to make reefing the boat as quick and easy as possible. Now another job I'm trying to do is to make the anchor, which is just up there, much more secure. At the moment it's sort of lashed back in place with this chain hook and this Dyneema, and that's good for casual sailing, but when you're getting big waves up on the bow, the anchor does move around a bit and it makes some noise, and it's just probably not good for anything for it to be moving. So trying to find a way to get it locked in really tight. I'm thinking about taking off this nut, which I was messing with already, and trying to put a big eye nut on here, and then using a turnbuckle or a bottle screw and another chain hook to really tension that in. So that's one of the other many jobs that we're working on at the moment. Of course, just getting lots and lots of spare parts is taking a lot of the time, going around to all the different hardware stores and marine stores here and ordering things. And very soon we're going to be provisioning as well, and that'll be a huge job. 30 days or more food for 4 people. So anyway, I've probably talked long enough. I've got lots of work to do, so I'm going to keep going. But just wanted to let you guys know what we're doing, what the plan is, where we're at, and going to be updating you pretty soon when the new crew arrive. So until then, thanks for watching, and a massive thank you to everyone who has donated or otherwise supported these videos, this project, this boat. It really does make a huge difference. It makes all of this possible, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Cheers.